Your Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished guests, especially the owner representatives at the head table, my colleague Minister Martin, who is also the parliamentary representative for this area. I know he's very happy about all the investments going into this area. Cabinet Secretary, other government officials, private sector officials, ladies and gentlemen. I do note that it said next to my name, brief remarks. And it's the only one of the long list of speakers that it says brief remarks. That is my friend, the Chairman Cameron at work. The truth, though, is that my colleagues know that brief for me really means what we used to call in the old days long johns. So forgive me if my brief is a little bit longer than the old-fashioned brief. But let me just say congratulations sincerely to those who have made this project possible and who have brought it to this point. My first awareness of Surrey paving, of course, was several years ago when the issue of the expansion of the parking apron at the airport came to Cabinet. An issue which I had the privilege to be involved with because, having recently become the Minister of Tourism, the Right Honourable Prime Minister was at the time prodding me forward to build a second cruise pier, which he had been told by advisors at the time was necessary. Well, I'm happy to say that with some degree of persuasion, I was able to encourage the Right Honourable Prime Minister to convert the funds that were being made available for the second cruise pier at the time into funds for expanding the parking apron and preparing a taxiway at the airport. And the Right Honourable Prime Minister, in his usual resourceful way, was able to convince the government of Taiwan to lend us, at the time, I believe, around $17 million. And the SCASPA board, led at the time by the well-known Lincoln Pemberton, would have been very happy for that loan and set about Lincoln Maynard. Did I say Pemberton? Is there a Lincoln Pemberton here? Yes, okay, sorry. They're all family anyhow. The chairman at the time, Lincoln Maynard, grabbed at the opportunity to make use of that loan and employed Surrey Paving to carry out the project. I'm very, very happy to see that whatever little profits that Surrey would have made from that project, they decided to plow it back into the Potato Bay area. So I suppose technically the government of Taiwan has a hand in this project. But more seriously, that is how business works. People get introduced to each other, opportunities emerge, and the entrepreneurial side works, and people begin to see how they can build value and form assets. I subsequently met Mr. Ross when he was introduced to me by Errol Douglas, who had just become chairman of the Urban Development Corporation, and we were looking to do a project which we're still working on of a second phase of development at Port Zante. And Mr. Ross and his company, Sterling Asset Management Limited, was introduced to the table. And I'm happy to say that although they didn't take the plunge at Port Zante, they found fertile ground elsewhere. And himself and Michael Archer and Dave and myself, over many games of golf, were able to discuss the planting of fertilizer and other goodies here at this site. I was so happy to get this project going, that this project got going, because it meant that anytime the Right Honourable Prime Minister called for me and I was on the golf course, I would have excuse to be there. Obviously, one of the good reasons for promoting this project was that we knew that Mr. Cameron would become the next West Indies Cricket Board president. And wearing my old hat of sports minister and former manager of the West Indies team, we understood how important it was for Dave to develop St. Kitts as a second home. So we're very happy that Dave is involved in this project and that he's a director on the Pelican Bay Limited. So I think all in all, we are set for a really good series here, and under the auspices of the directors, Mr. Ross, Mr. Archer, and the local Stanley Franks representing Contech DT. I think along with Dave and Marion Ross, that tell me are the 5 directors, we expect this project to go from strength to strength. You'll notice that the 2 owners at the head table, Mr. Chang and Mr. Pemberton, have designates on the board. I hope those of you in the audience understand that's how the wealthy owners operate. They don't sit on boards, they send people to be on boards for them. More seriously, the government welcomes this project. I have to say that in the 8.5 years that I've been a Minister of Tourism, I have attended more groundbreaking ceremonies in the last few months than I've attended probably for the entire time that I've been in this government. Contrary to what my dear friends may think, it has nothing to do with the fact that this seems to be developing into an election year. This was not supposed to be an election year. It was simply supposed to be a year when some of government's hard work and a number of public-private sector partnerships would come to fruition, and this is one of them. When we started working on this project last year, certain political developments that have since emerged were nowhere on the horizon. So I commend those who have put their monies forward, those who have put their technical expertise forward, and I wish this project safe passage going forward. I think this hillside is going to be further transformed dramatically with this project. You only have to look to the east and you will see what has happened here over the last 6 to 7 years, where this area of Frigate Bay that we used to know as Potato Bay has become quite an amazing investment site. And it's when you sit here, those of you, most of you are looking in the other direction, but when you sit here and you look out at the peninsula with Nevis in the background and you look later on out to the sunset, you'll understand why this project has so much potential for success. It truly is a wonderful part of this part of St. Kitts. I want to just mention briefly that the government supports projects like this because of the economic impact. And a project like this, which is estimated to be in the region of about US $80 million, will have a significant amount of direct and indirect benefits for government and for our community. Not only will it generate large numbers of employees, otherwise not employed, but it will have a positive impact on the demand for air travel into our destination and will enhance the brand image of our destination. So there's a lot of positives to look forward to. I know that projects have their ups and downs, and I wish that this one will have more ups than downs. Thank you very much.